Hi everyone, my name's Claire. I'm from Moving Currency and I help all the clients of Ideal Homes transfer their money from one currency to another. So when you're buying a property in Portugal, you're going to need euros, and I will help you get those euros at the best exchange rate. I'm here with Steve today, who's going to chat with me, and we're going to look at the current situation with the euro.
Thank you, Claire, for the introduction. Being American, I wish I had known you beforehand, because when I moved from the United States to Portugal, it was a bit difficult to actually understand what type of means and ways to move currency from the dollar to euro. So it was a bit of a trying experience at that time. So what type of advice can you give somebody who's going to come now from the United States to Portugal and that needs that extra help with the exchange rates and moving the currency from the dollar to euro?
Yeah, well, a lot of my clients at the moment are from America, like yourself, and I just try to really simplify the process for them. Our account is US based, so basically all our clients need to arrange is a domestic transfer, which is really simple, and then we take care of the international side of things for them. Obviously, we're always monitoring the exchange rate, and we'll contact them when it's an ideal time to transfer funds so that they know that they're getting the most for their dollars when buying a property here.
So is that an error that most of the people or Americans would do, is trying to transfer directly without having a control over the fluctuation of the currency?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of banks, they charge such a high fee for international transfers, along with the exchange rates that they give are just not very good, and you never really know what exchange rate you're getting, so you don't know the amount of dollars to send, and they just make the whole process so really confusing. So we always confirm the exact amount of dollars that you need to send, the exchange rate, and the amount of euros that you're buying, so that you can see the whole transaction and everything's very clear. And that way you know exactly what you're doing, and like I said, it's just a domestic transfer, so it's really, really simple.
And do you usually work with all the major banks in Portugal? How is that? How do you tie the American client to a Portuguese bank account? Or well, they'll need it eventually, or they'll need it to do the transactions.
Yeah.
But what do you advise on a specific financial entity? Do you work with them with others specifically? What's the basis on the bank accounts for them in Portugal?
Okay, so basically we can transfer to any account in Portugal or anywhere in the world, basically.
Yeah, of course.
So whether they have their own bank account here already, whether the funds need to go to their lawyer for the property, whether their funds need to go towards their furniture or any other things, we can send the payments out to wherever they need them to go.
Yeah, that's interesting. Do you advise on the actual fluctuation of the currency itself? So the comparison between euro, dollar, dollar, euro. Is that information given to any of the clients, or do you not withhold it, but do you keep that information to yourself and then only provide the information on this is the ideal time to work around the transaction or not? Is that the way that you would most likely do it, or do you give off actual fluctuations with the currencies?
Yeah, we always let our clients know when it's a great time to transfer, because obviously they can save money that way, and it makes the property just a little bit cheaper for them. And there is an option as well to lock in the rate when it's the most favourable time, so they can fix the rate at that point, pay a 10% deposit, and then the rest of the funds they don't need to transfer until they need them. So if the exchange rate's very good at the moment, so a lot of clients are fixing the rate now, but maybe the payment isn't due until June. So they fix the rate now with 10%, and then they pay the balance in June.
Okay. So it's like for any currency buff, like a forward action.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
So it just means that the price of the property is not fluctuating with the markets. It's locked in and fixed, and you just don't need to worry about it again.
Okay. So what does a American client need to start working with you and start moving the currencies?
Okay, so it's really simple. They can set up an account online. Just go to our website, which is www.movingcurrency.com. Click to open an account and then just fill out all your name, address, personal information, upload some ID, and then it's all ready to go. Yeah, I mean, I'm always available for a chat. I know a lot of clients are in the US, so with regards to the time difference, I'm available in the evenings as well if you want to go through any further information or what's happening with the markets at the moment, and I can help you set up accounts as well. Yeah, I'm always available to help when anyone needs it.
All right, that's good. I was curious, is there any type of special documentation that is needed for any special type of client? Let's say it's more of a similar VIP client, let's say. Is there any type of legal documentation that's needed for that specific client, or is it all the documentation the same?
All the documentation's the same. We'll need a copy, passport and proof of address. We'll also need, some clients might want to buy the property in a company name. So in that case, there's additional documentation that's required just to verify the company and who the owners of the company are, things like that. Well, at the moment, the exchange rate has improved massively. So it really changes the price of your property. Not so long ago, we were looking at rates around sort of 112, 114 from US dollars to euros, and now it's dropped right down to 105. So that's a massive change in the price of the property, and if people want to lock in the rates now, they can lock in the price of that property as well.
So do you think that the trend for the currency right now is closer to a 1-to-1 ratio, or do you expect it to be lower than that for the US dollar? Is it gaining on the euro?
The US dollar is very strong at the moment, and it seems to be gaining on a lot of currencies throughout. It's difficult to say if this might be the lowest point or if it's going to continue to get lower. Unfortunately, nobody knows the answer to that either. Yeah.
Do you think that any of the current situations that are going on in the world are going to influence the dollar heavier or not? Let's say we're going through the Ukraine war with Russia. Do you think that if that goes off further, will that have a major impact on all of the currencies, or specifically in this case the US to the euro, or is that not a trend that's being noticed right now in the market?
I would say that when that started, that was the point when the euro weakened, but now that is factored into the market. So I don't think that situation is likely to continue to impact the rate. I think throughout, everywhere's going to put their interest rates up, and that always has an effect on the exchange rate as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Okay, so interest rates does play a part in the currency, or moving currency in this aspect.
Yeah.
Is there an expectation of a rise in rates?
It does feel that way at the moment. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but it does seem that way throughout most of the countries. So if everyone's doing it, then maybe that won't have such a big effect on the exchange rate.
Okay. So I think my last question would probably be, would you advise an American to take the opportunity now and buy a property with Ideal Homes?
Definitely. It's a great time to buy. You're saving a lot of money even compared to just a few months ago. So it's really brought the price of properties down, even though that's kind of against the trend and property prices are rising. With the exchange rate, it's making the prices lower.
Well, I'm happy with the answer. So
yeah.
that was eye-opening and insightful. So hopefully our American consumers will also look in that information and say, thank you for that. That's start to think about coming to buy with us, and hopefully we'll get more Americans in Portugal.
Thank you very much. If anyone would like to get in touch with me, my name's Claire again. The website is www.movingcurrency.com, and my email address is claire@movingcurrency.com. Thank you.